Chapter 10 focuses specifically on Bowen family systems theory. Once again, this is an overview. There's a great development of each of these concepts. And if this is something that interests you, you can read further in the textbook or even look at some of the supplemental materials that delve more deeply into Bowen systems theory. Some of the objectives are discussing the major theorists, premises, techniques, rules of the therapist, processes, and outcomes, and describing the unique aspects of Bowen family therapy. We'll look at some of the major theorists, the premises, treatment techniques, the role of the therapist, process and outcomes, and unique aspects. The major theorists include Murray Bowen. He noticed similarities between dysfunctional families and families with members who have schizophrenia. He began the Georgetown Family Center Symposium, and he founded the American Family Therapy Academy. Michael Kerr was also a major theorist in Bowen systems approaches. The premises of the theory: unless individuals examine and rectify patterns passed down from previous generations, they are likely to repeat these behaviors in their own families. Families who are prone to repeat certain behaviors are either over-involved with each other, for example, fused, or emotionally cut off from each other. Focus is given to the emotional system of a family. There's a chronic anxiety that comes with living, and low anxiety equates to few familial problems. Some of the basic concepts are the differentiation of self, the nuclear family emotional process, Bowen transmission process, family projection, triangles, cutoffs, sibling position, and emotional process in society. Differentiation of self is the ability of persons to distinguish themselves from their family of origin at an emotional and intellectual level. It's the ability to balance the intrapsychic and intrapersonal dimensions of self. It's two counterbalancing life forces, togetherness and individuality. Higher levels of differentiation are predictive of lower distress and greater well-being, and differentiation is a continuum from autonomy to undifferentiated, which again would be fused. The nuclear family emotional process: emotional forces in families that operate over the years in recurrent patterns, such as becoming disorganized or chaotic during a crisis. 4 factors that influence a person's level of differentiation include emotional reactivity, cutoff, fusion, and the I position. Bowen transmission process and family projection. The Bowen transmission process is a phenomenon that describes the idea that coping strategies and patterns of coping with stress tend to be passed on from generation to generation. Families that present a problem have had the forces of several generations shaping and carrying the symptom. Family projection is the concept that couples tend to produce offspring at the same level of differentiation as themselves. Triangles. A triangle is the basic building block of any emotional system and the smallest stable relationship system. Some triangles are healthy, others are not. The original triangle is between a child and parents. When stress occurs, anxiety spreads from one central triangle within the family to interlocking triangles outside the family, especially in work and social systems. Bowen therapists work to help people engage in detriangulation, the separation of emotions from intellect. Cutoffs, sibling position, and societal regression. Cutoffs occur when individuals distance themselves from their families physically or psychologically in order to manage their unresolved emotional issues with parents, siblings, and other family members by reducing or totally cutting off emotional contact with them. Sibling position. Bowen purported that people can develop fixed personality characteristics based on their functional birth order in the family. Societal regression occurs when too many toxic forces are countering the tendency to achieve differentiation. In this situation, people act to relieve the anxiety of the moment rather than act on principle in the long-term view. Treatment techniques: genograms, going home again, detriangulation, person-to-person relationships, differentiation of self, and asking questions are some of the techniques from the Bowen perspective. Differentiated, objective, and neutral, coach and teacher, co-interpreters with their clients in assessing and working through Bowen patterns of fusion and cutoffs. These are all roles that the therapist may play in this therapeutic approach. Process and outcome is to understand intergenerational patterns and gain insight into historical circumstances that affect interactions. The emphasis of change is with the individual or couple. The most rapid family change occurs when spouses work together in therapy. Some of the unique aspects of Bowenian approaches are that it calls attention to family history and the importance of noticing and dealing with past patterns. The use of genograms or genograms, systemic in nature, controlled in focus, and cognitive in practice, and can be used with individuals and couples as well as families. So again, just a brief overview. If you're interested in some of these techniques, you will have an opportunity to create a genogram as an assignment. in this course, and also to delve a little bit deeper into Bowen processes of family therapy.